Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Monday, June the 16th. I will mention first, this is a brand new jersey from Geeky Jerseys, because I will get asked if I don't say it. This is for Happy Gilmore, of course. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. So the eyeball being right here in the jar, and Chubb's hand replacement right there. So Peterson on the back, number 18, and of course the famous alligator on the front. Happy Gilmore movie I've watched, 86,000 times. It's a lot. Now Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. We'll see if that one's... I'm not as excited for Happy Gilmore 2 as one might think I am. I'm kind of like, they told a really good story in the first one. They could have just left it there. But hey, that's not the way things work anymore. So, getting into the news now, John Tavares, his case against CRA. So CRA is going after him. His $15 million bonus is at odds here with what CRA wants. CRA believes that it should be taxed at the top percentage you can and should be counted as salary. He and his lawyers have argued no. And it sounds like there's a really good chance that Tavares is going to win his case. It has been paused indefinitely as they wait for a trial date. But with the way this is trending, it definitely sounds like Tavares could very well win his case. And this could have an effect on other players coming up and playing in Canada and all the salary bonuses and all this, right? And one thing working in his favor, too, is that there are recent losses in court for CRA, which is the Canadian version of the IRS, with former Blue Jays, Josh Donaldson and Russell Martin, for similar payments. So definitely good news, I would think, for the National Hockey League and for NHL teams and for their players. And also, Toronto news, pending a restricted free agent, Hirvonen has signed a deal in the Finnish Liga. So he will be playing in Finland. The Toronto Maple Leafs will retain his rights, of course, as a restricted free agent, unless they don't give him a qualifying offer and they let him go unrestricted. He was a draft pick back in 2020. I think I did a video on Hirvonen at the time as well. But yeah, it sounds like he's going to go home and play. And who knows? There are instances where young players come over, it doesn't quite work out. They go back to the European League, they get their game together, then come back and play in the NHL, and it works out pretty well. Phoenix Copley has signed a one-year extension with the LA Kings, $775,000, so one-way contract. Copley can be a good fill-in, a good number 3 in an organization where needed. Of course, for the LA Kings, the way everything turned out for them this year, what will their goaltending look like next year is, I think, a valid question to ask. Lassie Thomson has signed an extension with the Ottawa Senators after spending a year in the Swedish Hockey League. So he signed a one-year, two-way extension with the Ottawa Senators, $775,000 at the NHL level, $300,000 at the AHL level. A defenseman who was drafted in the first round by Ottawa. It hasn't quite worked out to this point. Who knows? Maybe that time over in the SHL got them together, as I said previously here, with Hirvonen. And so we'll see how that goes for Lassie Thomson coming back over. Interesting reporting by Josh Yohe today, where he's saying what he's been hearing from people within the Penguins organization, that Evgeny Malkin, who's entering the final year of his contract, is unlikely to be signed to an extension. There's always the chance that Malkin ends up retiring this coming season. That is obviously a chance because players get older. And Malkin's been noticeably slower, and it's just he's not that prime forward that he was, say, 5 years ago. But he is an unrestricted free agent next summer, should he decide not to retire. And the Pittsburgh Penguins seem to be embracing that things need to change here. So then we'll have questions about Letang and, does Letang stick around for the long term? And what does this do with the extension talks with Sidney Crosby as well? Crosby I can't see playing anywhere but Pittsburgh. But in the event of Malkin leaving and whatever else happens, does that mean that maybe Crosby decides could be time? We'll see. So with the game tomorrow, we have the extra day today before Game 6 tomorrow in the National Hockey League. Corey Perry's saying the right things here. Corey Perry's saying that the Oilers need to get off to a good start. Talks about how they want to play with a lead. Absolutely. No argument there. Allowing 7 more goals in the final so far in first periods rather than above what they've scored is huge. It gives Florida the big lead. And while the Oilers have been able to come back, eventually that's not going to be something they're able to do, as the last game showed. So Corey Perry's right here. They need to jump on Florida tomorrow early, get a lead if possible, get a 2-goal lead, that kind of thing. Try to take the crowd out of it and have Florida running around a little bit. Matthew Tkachuk, he interviewed as well. He understands that McDavid's desperate to win a cup, says they are desperate as well. So for Tkachuk, of course, he's been playing through injury in the playoffs, and we'll find out when the playoffs are done what that injury has been. He even said he was only 50% on whether or not he was going to be able to come back in that first round. So Matthew Tkachuk's playing through some pain at this point. Andrew Mangiapane, according to David Pagnotta, is headed to market, so he's not going to sign an extension with the Washington Capitals. Not a huge surprise there. Mangiapane had a decent year for the Capitals, but not quite at the level he was with the Flames before. Who knows? Maybe he goes back to Calgary. Calgary's got the cap space to make that happen, and he's definitely been a very good player for the Flames when he's been there. So we'll see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.